My favorite holiday is my birthday. I only get one. That make me a narcissist? Maybe. Speaking of narcissists, have y'all seen what has been going on at the Young Turks? I certainly hope not, because I know none of you watch that garbage. However, this shit has been making the rounds on the interwebs, and they are going further down the liberal to right-wing pipeline, even though, as I like to emphasize here, it is one and the same. All right. This first story we're going to talk about is in regards to Anna, basically saying that migrants, are not deserve due process.
You are watching surveillance footage showing
You are fucking annoying.
Attacked police officers in New York's Times Square as the cops were attempting to detain another man. Now, the assault happened last Saturday when police attempted to disperse a disorderly group of people. ABC News reports that when officers attempted to place an individual in custody, the suspects began to kick and punch the officers, and then they fled the scene. And, you can see all of that taking place in the surveillance.
Oh, wow.
Footage that we just showed you. Now, luckily, no one was seriously injured, and the police were treated
everyone
on the scene
was fine.
for minor injuries.
Nothing happened.
One person who had,
literally,
some cuts.
Nothing
to
happened.
His face.
Guess what, Anna?
The suspects luckily were later arrested.
Guess what, Anna? Nothing happened.
The suspects were identified.
Don't worry.
Wednesday as
Don't worry.
Reveron, 24 years old.
She's gonna fear-monger and explain to you why you need to be really, really concerned about this fucking story.
Darwin Andres.
Wait. I'm not even playing this part because these are not convicted or I think even charged people, and I'm not going to place their names out on my stream. These are, yeah. So.
It is being widely reported now by local news outlets in New York that the individuals who carried out these assaults are actually asylum seekers. The assault took place in front of a migrant shelter, and there have been increasing scuffles with migrants between one another for the most part, but this is the first time that we're seeing surveillance footage of them literally attacking cops and being kind of brazen and emboldened enough to do something like that. One of them already had a criminal record. Reveron has 2 pending cases in Manhattan for assault and robbery. He allegedly attacked a loss prevention officer at a Macy's department store during an alleged robbery, and also alleged.
Okay. I want to unpack that for a second, because loss prevention officers are not supposed to intervene in active theft. So unless this migrant, this person, I don't want to dehumanize this person and just refer to them as a migrant, but they're asylum seekers, and that's the whole fucking point of her story. But like, so say this person, sees a loss prevention officer, just hates cops of any kind, which, yes, fair, and just starts beating ass on sight. Maybe that's this person's MO, but I kind of doubt it. So why was there an altercation between this person and this loss prevention officer, and what did the loss prevention officer do? Just for context, I can't just let TYT dribble play and be like, oh yeah, this is full of nuance and giving you a fair picture of the story, because it's not. So typically, you know, that would mean that he was likely that the individual was assaulted by the loss prevention officer and then charged for that.
Allegedly punched and bit a Nordstrom Rack employee in November.
Okay, that one's kind of funny. Like,
I don't want to get ahead of myself here.
Oh, but you're gonna.
Because I have a whole argument that I'm about to make. But let me just say this. Considering the lack of resources for migrants, considering the fact that you have a situation in which there isn't enough shelter and you have migrants sleeping outside, can we deport the migrants who are engaging in this kind of behavior?
No, Anna. No. The answer to your question is fucking no. You can't.
No.
Can I hear that one more time?
Move this man. No.
You cannot just deport people for having charges. Being charged with a crime does not nullify your legal right to seek asylum, no matter what the budget is. And I'm sorry, do you want to actually
No.
address and fix the migrant crisis by, like, I don't know, fixing our foreign intervention policies and our oil production policies and our resource extraction that we take part of in our capitalist society, so you can have your fucking seasonal fruit all year round? Like, you don't want to talk about that, the reason that we have this migrant crisis, or the fact that we could allocate a lot more of these resources by, like, you know, I don't know, defunding the police. No, let's immediately jump from, I see this video, I see this crime scene footage, and it's by people who I don't think deserve to live here. So my immediate reaction, because I'm a fucking liberal reactionary, is to say they need to leave the fucking country. Anna, the daughter of migrants.
And this kind of crime? Like, because I have a whole argument that I'm about to make. But let me just say this. Considering the lack of resources for migrants, considering the fact that you have a situation in which there isn't enough shelter and you have migrants sleeping outside, can we deport the migrants who are engaging in this kind of behavior and this kind of crime? Like, one of them has already gotten arrested twice for assaulting employees at retail stores. And then you have the surveillance footage of them kicking cops in the head as the cops are trying to detain another guy. Why? What are we doing? So they get arrested and then they're let out. No bail. Because it's New York City. Of course.
It's communism.
Okay, this is...
Anna, it's called due process. It's called due process.
Listen, I know we have a giant left-wing audience, and I love you guys.
No, you don't.
Please don't give in to some
I love how
reaction
she
to
says,
provide cover.
I love how she says, not anymore that we are a left-wing show or this is a progressive show, just we have a giant left-wing audience.
Move this man.
No, that's the thing, Hunger Games. None of this has been proven. None of this is proven. So, but Anna thinks that you should deport people based on allegations, based on grainy video footage, based on the fucking word of the NYPD. She thinks that you should send people back to a country where they may potentially or will likely face violence subjugation, whatever horrors they were leaving behind. And the point is, Anna's just a fucking racist. Not Loons. She doesn't need to go to Fox News. That's the thing. Like, you need to stop saying that, because this is TYT. This is what they are. They are liberals. This is what liberals are. You don't need to be a right-winger in order to think this way. You can be a well-intended, even...
This is turning into a revolution.
Nordic Dem style, sock Dem loving, Bernie loving liberal, quote unquote progressive, and still be a racist white supremacist.
For these people. These are not people you need to provide cover for. These are people who are in the country claiming asylum. They don't have a right to be here.
They literally do. They literally do. They're claiming asylum. That is their right to be here, Anna.
A privilege.
When your family fled the Armenian genocide, they claimed asylum. Do you have a right to be here, Anna?
To be able to take advantage of our asylum program
motherfucker.
And be able to claim asylum, claim that you're here because of whatever reason. I don't know exactly which reason they gave for the...
Literally, and yeah, we're all living on fucking stolen land. You want to talk about rights to be here? She's a first generation, like, first generation American. Like, you know, like, she's a first generation citizen. I think that's how you say it. And like, you're gonna shit on migrants? So Anna is a fucking fascist. And that's where we're at.
Retail stores. And then you have the surveillance footage of them kicking cops in the head as the cops are trying to detain another guy. Why? What are we doing? So they get arrested and then they're let out. No bail. Because it's New York City, of course. Okay, this is... Listen, I know we have a giant left-wing audience, and I love you guys. Please don't give in to some knee-jerk reaction to provide cover for these people. These are not people you need to provide cover for. These are people who are in the country claiming asylum. They don't have a right to be here. It is a privilege to be able to take advantage of our asylum program and be able to claim asylum, claim that you're here because of whatever reason.
It's not a privilege. And this whole like, oh,
I don't know exactly which reason they gave for their asylum claim.
You're here for whatever
reason. Because of whatever reason. I don't know exactly which reason they gave for their asylum claim. And you get to have your case adjudicated in front of a judge. But if you're causing all sorts of chaos, and if you're assaulting police officers, like the idea that we're not even having a conversation about immediately deporting them is ridiculous. But then not only that,
how the fact that we're not having a conversation about immediately deporting them is ridiculous. Anna, you don't know fucking humanitarian law, you don't know immigration law. Like, this woman used to teach at a college, like political science. And like, granted, she's not teaching law, but like, holy shit, like, what you're calling for is not only like inhumane, not progressive, like not the right thing to do, but like it's also just fucking illegal.
That they get arrested and immediately released without bail because of bail reform in New York.
Because a judge determined that bail didn't need to be set.
That's insane. Right? Am I crazy? I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I've lost my mind at this point. I feel like I'm gonna get like an onslaught of ridiculous harassment because I think people seeking asylum and taking up finite resources that could be given to another asylum seeker who isn't causing problems is ridiculous. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office says that an investigation into the incident is ongoing. We now have additional video surveillance that was not available at the time of arraignment and are continuing to speak to witnesses in order to determine.
Like, okay, this is why they were let go. Because they didn't have evidence. They don't know the specific role of each individual.
Determine the specific role of each defendant. And by the way, I want to be clear about something. If you are part of the left and you don't speak out against incidents like that, what it does is it allows for the right to paint a picture.
Incidents like what? Them like trying to stop their buddy from getting arrested?
Of what all is
like, there's no such thing as reverse police brutality. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Police have the power. There's no such thing as police brutality where it's violence against cops. I don't care that a couple cops got fucking kicked around and were literally fine. They were fine. Okay, this is not targeted violence against police by roaming gangs of migrants, as Anna would have you fucking believe.
Asylum seekers are like, what all migrants are like. And as we know, based on studies that have been conducted previously, there's no indication that immigrant communities have a higher rate of crime. Okay, anyone who
I'm trying to
claims that
pivot.
they do, it's just unfounded. There's no evidence of that.
I'm trying to pivot.
But if the left starts providing cover for migrants who do commit crime,
look, if you on the left, like, just, I hate this show.
Crime, and feel emboldened enough to literally assault police officers as they're trying to detain someone else, that sends a really bad message about what the left wants to represent.
What does that have to do with the left?
In my opinion, the defamation of migrants who are here, who have legitimate asylum claims, and should not be treated any differently from ordinary people, especially considering how vulnerable they are and how they're here either for safety.
They are ordinary people, you fucking racist.
Or for opportunity. So this should not paint a picture of asylum seekers. But for those who cause these kinds of problems.
But I'm gonna use my platform and broadcast this to, I don't know, about 80,000 people and tell them that it is a problem and that this is like, so then why are you covering this fucking Fox News story? Oh, that's right, because you're a reactionary liberal.
There should be consequences, and they should be deported immediately. So at least 41 people have been arrested at the Roosevelt Hotel since May. The Roosevelt Hotel in New York City has been used for migrant shelters, and apparently they've had 41 people who've been arrested. Most of those cases involve domestic violence. An asylum seeker was accused of bashing an employee in the head with a no parking sign in June after the worker basically kicked him out of the building for being unruly. The worker ended up with a 6-inch gash on his head, and Mayor Eric Adams made an unannounced visit to the hotel within days to basically survey the situation. A 30-year-old migrant at the Manhattan hotel turned shelter was also arrested for alleged child endangerment. His alleged victim was an 11-year-old daughter, and that's according to police reports on the matter. And the Manhattan District Attorney's Office later declined to.
There's a bunch of anecdotes about migrants that should scare you.
Prosecute, because prosecuting people is tough. You need to actually prove your case. And if it's not an open and shut case, they just drop it. So a spokesperson for the Manhattan DA's office says, after thorough investigation and review of the facts, the people declined to prosecute this matter. If a crime cannot be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, it is our ethical duty not to charge it. It seems like they believe it's their ethical duty not to charge anyone with anything.
Really? Really? You think the fucking NYPD is too lenient? You think the laws in America are too lenient against brown people specifically?
So we'll see how it plays out for the people who were caught in that surveillance footage beating the crap out of those cops. But anyone who thinks like, oh, who cares? We don't like cops, so let them do whatever they want. You're ridiculous, okay? You're ridiculous. Not all of us have the resources, as Cori Bush did, to hire private security and feel safe. Ordinary citizens have.
Okay, you're gonna take a shot about Cori Bush having private security because you're still traumatized that you were assaulted. Go to therapy.
Have their tax money sent.
Did the cops do anything? Did the cops protect you? Did the cops ever protect people against assault? No, they protect property.
To local police departments for protection, to keep the community safe. So if you have a situation in which police are getting the message that they can be assaulted like that, and then right after they're
we need to charge them harder because otherwise the cops won't do their jobs. Guys, the cops won't do their jobs if they think that we don't like them. We gotta make the cops feel good. It might hurt their feelings.
book, they're just released without bail. I don't know, I feel like it's gonna harm recruitment efforts in a situation where we already have a shortage of police officers.
Where?
So
where is this shortage of police officers?
And they're unable to come because there is that shortage. Don't complain about it if you provided cover for the kind of behavior we saw in that surveillance footage. But aside from that, if these guys are comfortable enough to open
Anna, oh my God, use some fucking. You know why the cops don't come when you don't call them? You know why they don't come? Because they're out committing crimes. That's why. That's what the cops are fucking doing. Also, if you're worried about resources and funding, like we were talking about earlier, there are so many other ways that you can look at this problem with some fucking structural class analysis and realize that, one, the cops are not your friend, never are your friend, do not protect you, are not there to protect you. Even a privileged white woman like Anna, the cops are there to protect capital and property, and that's it. It's this reactionary. If you don't immediately condemn this incident and the fact that they weren't charged, like, with, I'm like, were they? I believe it said that they weren't. They have yet to be charged. Right? So, like, she not only thinks they should be fucking deported, she thinks if you don't agree with her that it's your fault that police don't do their jobs.
Publicly in broad daylight beat the crap out of police officers. What do you think they're willing to do to ordinary people? We already know one of them had no problem beating.
The migrants are coming for you, chat.
Up or assaulting retail workers.
Think about what they'll do to you.
What kind of other damage are they going to do to other members of that community? No, we got to speak out against this stuff, and we have to speak out against it loudly. We have to be clear that they're not representative of immigrants and migrants. But we also have to be clear that we on the left denounce and condemn.
You're not on the left. Shut the fuck up.
This kind of behavior and want consequences for it.
Yeah, I don't want people to be deported or just have to sit in Rikers because they're too poor to afford their bail. Like, sorry, I don't believe in draconian fucking barbaric punishment, you sick genocidal fuck.
And if you don't, just think about what kind of message that sends to the general public about what the priorities and actual values of the left happen to be.
Okay, y'all ready for round two? Let's go. Yeah, Anna's talking about messaging, like the message of the left, and she's talking to individuals. She's talking to you, chat. She's talking to you guys, saying that you need to be talking to your friends about this specific incident and how it does, and well, that was bad, and you need to come out and condemn this, like. Meanwhile, this is the story she's covering and what she's talking about with migrants, not talking about the migrants that are fucking locked in cages at the border or the ones that are being killed at the border. I'm talking about those migrants. I'm talking about some that like committed a crime in New York City. Is this the New York City crime report now? All right, woke kindergarten. Here we fucking go.
Glassbrook Elementary School, which has been struggling with pretty abysmal test scores and low student attendance, has been spending a whopping $250,000 in federal money
Oh my God.
on an organization called Woke
Federal
Kindergarten.
federal money, guys. That's my tax dollars, you fucking liberal.
It is a for-profit organization, and yes, that is literally the name of that organization, Woke Kindergarten. So the point of this program is apparently to train teachers.
It's I believe the program costs 200,000 The program is I mean, probably, like, I'm like, that's not much for a school program. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, but yeah, she said almost $250,000 to make it sound like a lot. It's like, okay.
To confront white supremacy, disrupt racism and oppression, and remove those barriers to learning.
Good.
Has nothing to do with reading, has nothing to do with math, it has nothing to do with improving the abysmal test scores that
they're kindergartners. They don't know how to do math. There's some shit you can't teach a 5-year-old, but you can teach them about racism. You can teach them, like, that, like, people are equal no matter what they look like. Holy shit.
Supremacy, pretty abysmal test scores and low student attendance, has been spending
they have bad test scores.
$250,000 in federal money on an organization called Woke Kindergarten. It is a for-profit organization, and yes, that is literally the name of that organization, Woke Kindergarten. So the point of this program is apparently to train teachers to confront white supremacy, disrupt racism and oppression, and remove those barriers to learning.
Like,
has nothing to do with
reading,
a good has nothing to do with math, it has nothing to do with improving the abysmal test score.
Like, and to be honest, I don't know how much they're going to talk about it, but, like, it probably has more to do with teacher training than anything else.
That the school set out to improve. Now, an argument in favor of woke kindergarten, right? The solution to poor performing schools, advocates say, is for educators to confront legacies of racism and bias in schools and to talk about historic white supremacy so that students feel safe and supported. Now, remember, we're talking about an elementary school, and even though the program is called Woke Kindergarten.
Yes, elementary school. Children, Anna, experience racism. I know you're white and you grew up in the United States, so you didn't experience racism. You've never experienced racism, but children do.
Kindergarten, it would apply to all of the students in this elementary school. And abolition apparently makes an appearance in this realm as well. Woke Kindergarten, aimed at elementary age students, is founded on the relatively new concept of abolitionist education, which advocates for abolition or a kind of starting over, said Zeus Leonardo, UC Berkeley education professor. And the idea is that certain things can't be reformed, tweaked, or shifted because they are inherently problematic or oppressive.
True.
It's not about indoctrinating or imposing politics, but making politics part of the framework of teaching, Leonardo said. Let me be clear, it is absolutely about indoctrinating and imposing politics.
Why? Because you don't like the politics?
I'll give you some examples of the course material.
Because you don't like.
The curriculum shared with schools includes so-called wonderings, which pose questions for students, including, if the United States defunded the Israeli military, how could this money be used to rebuild Palestine? That seems politically motivated, no?
I think that's a very fair question. Why is that an unfair question to ask?
And we're talking about elementary school kids. What are we doing? In addition, the woke word of the day, including strike, ceasefire, and protest, offers students a language of resistance to introduce children to liberatory vocabulary in a way that they can easily digest, understand, and most importantly, use in their critiques of the system.
They're also hearing these words, so it might be important for them to have a definition explained at school.
Teacher Tiger Craven Neely found the woke kindergarten training confusing and rigid. He said he was told a primary objective was to disrupt whiteness in the school, and that the sessions were
based,
not a place to express white guilt. He said he questioned a trainer who used the phrasing so-called United States, as well as lessons available to the organization's website offering Lil Comrade convos or positing a world without police, money, or landlords. The kids can't read. They can't read. Okay, they can't read. And now we're pitting like students of color against white students. Oh wow, it sounds.
The fact that that's what you take from all of that is very telling about yourself, Anna. That you think that disrupting whiteness means putting black students against white students. Like, no, whiteness is a construct. Whiteness exists because white supremacists want it to exist. And people like you who uphold whiteness are why liberals are fascists.
Sounds like a really great educational experience. But does the program actually work? That's really the question here.
Right,
well,
and like which kids can't read?
With woke kindergarten, student achievement at Glassbrook has fallen, prompting some teachers to question whether the money, again, $250,000, was well spent, given the needs of the students who are predominantly low income. 2/3 of the students are English learners, meaning English as a second language, and more than 80% are.
So it sounds like a place where race relations comes up a lot, and this would be a very good place to talk about like deconstructing colonial white supremacy.
Are Hispanic or Latino.
But this is the home of progressives, chat.
From this program, but remember, this is federal money. This is federal taxpayer money.
Federal money
used by this public elementary school to allegedly improve the test scores of these students, and the opposite has happened because it's not about improving the test scores of the students. It's about injecting a political ideology into an elementary school to the detriment of the educational experience of these students.
I'm going to get to the actual scores in a second because I think they're very relevant here, as you'll see. But look, guys, there's parts of the program that I agree with on Israel-Palestine, on worker power, and in empowering labor in this country, etc.
I thought he was busy running for president.
The entire agenda was something that I agreed with. Would I be in favor of this? No.
Shouldn't he be campaigning?
No, I still wouldn't be in favor of it. Because think about it, guys. You inject this much politics into the curriculum. And if we say, okay, Israel's occupation is wrong and we should help Palestinians, what's going to stop 98% of other school districts from saying the Palestinians are the worst and you're not allowed to criticize Israel, and Israel
they already do
heavenly and their occupation is beautiful?
It's because that is the standard teaching. So when you challenge it, that's why it becomes a controversy.
Right, nothing. Because once you start doing politics in the classroom, like brazen, over-the-top politics on political, then there's no end to it. And guess what? The left's not going to win that battle. The right's going to win that battle. And when they inject politics and they try to take like mentions of slavery out of the textbooks, or they do anti-LGBTQ provisions, etc., we rightly get really mad about it.
We get really mad about it, you guys. We don't do anything because we're liberals and we don't actually want any change, but we get really mad.
So it's really important that we not be hypocritical and then go, I don't like it when they do it, but we should do it. No, that makes no sense.
Cenk, there is an objective reality. Like, white supremacy is bad. Racism is bad. Colonialism is bad. Imperialism is bad. These things are objectively fucking true, and you can teach people these things because they're true. The opposite of that is indoctrination because it's not true. When you teach people that imperialism, no, is actually really good, that's when you're indoctrinating via propaganda, which is what schools have been teaching students in class for decades.
Even if you agreed with the political ideology that's being presented. But by the way, on a majority of what they teach, I don't agree with it anyway. So let me be clear. This whole idea of disrupting whiteness
is
cuckoo
based
for Cocoa Puffs.
It's
no,
racist.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
racist, everyone. Let's keep it real. It's racist, and it's pitting students of color against the white students in an elementary school.
So guys, let me give
Again, whiteness is a construct that excludes. It can only exclude. It does not include. It is an exclusionary construct meant to subjugate and oppress others. That's what they mean when they say disrupting whiteness, Anna. And the fact that that offends you says a lot about where you think your place in society is and should be. Also, that was hilarious.
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
It's racist.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
racist, everyone. Let's keep it
No,
real.
no,
It's
no, no, no,
racist,
no,
and
no,
it's
no.
pitting students of color against the white students in an elementary school.
It's pitting students of color against white students in an elementary school. It's not saying you're bad because you're white. It's saying whiteness is a bad thing. Whiteness does not need to exist. Whiteness is a construct that shouldn't exist because it only works to uphold white supremacy and capitalism and slavery and oppression and racism. And yeah, the whole cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs fucking we're just gonna throw in some ableism here. Can't let that go by.
So guys, let me give you
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
You're dumb.
Obviously, teach about, the civil rights era, what happened during Jim Crow. Obviously,
They're not talking about teaching history. They're talking about teaching concepts. They're talking about presenting concepts of equality, of justice, of liberation, of freedom.
those are important teachings. But this curriculum that's meant to demonize white kids in an elementary school is so awful. And I can't believe anyone would think this is a good idea.
So guys, let me give you a non-white perspective. So I'm Middle Eastern, my wife is Asian, our kids are not white under any definition, okay? And so we talk about that at home. But if they were taught in their schools to disrupt whiteness, I would say to them, no, don't. I don't know what the hell that means.
That's the
How are
point.
you going to disrupt
You don't
someone
know
being
what
white
that means.
or acting white. What does acting white mean? And why are you getting my kids to not like white people?
That's not what
Look,
that means.
If you want to fight racism against Asians, Middle Easterns,
That's
blacks,
not what that means. That's literally not what that means. And the fact that you just admitted, I don't know what that means you're not educated enough on this to make a fucking opinion.
Latinos, I'm 1,000,000,000% on your side. But if we're going to pit the races against one another, that's not fighting racism. That's perpetuating racism.
100%.
Pitting the
Like kids to be indoctrinated into that, that's nuts at an elementary school level, let alone any level. When they get to a higher level, then you can have good, important, relevant conversations about race, racism, the history of race.
Yeah, by then they've already
No,
been
no, no,
taught
no,
by
no,
their
no, no.
fucking racist ass redneck parents what to think.
In this country, the history of civil rights, etc. That is critical. Do not let the right wing take that away. That is
No.
core part of American history. But to tell elementary school kids that they have to go disrupt whiteness is just lunacy. And then let alone this whole a world without police, money, or landlords. Guys, I'm sorry, but this idea of a world without money
is hella based and everything that we should be aiming for because capitalism kills. Phoenix, I heard that too, and then I think he says pitting the races, not the racists. But I could be mistaken. Because that caught my ear too, and then I was like, wait, what? But I'm like, I think he said pitting the races against each other. Not implying that people of color can be racist. Although if you were to ask Jank, he would probably say yes, of course. But yeah, what does Jank think about a moneyless society?
And then let alone this whole a world without police, money, or landlords. Guys, I'm sorry, but like this idea, like
yes, that's the goal.
This idea of a world without money.
Literally the goals.
I mean, that's so preposterously ignorant. That's all money is a tool that allows you to do trading. So what are we gonna take money away? And then I gotta grow tomatoes and cucumbers in my backyard and trade it for hogs and clothing? What is this? This is insanity.
So remember, they spent $250,000 in federal money on this program. So who knows? Maybe we're wrong, Jank. Maybe their test scores did improve by learning to disrupt whiteness when in reality they need to learn math and reading. Well, here's what the results were.
Dude, I don't use algebra in my daily life, but I do use the tools of dismantling white supremacy and liberalism every fucking day. Like, I don't know, maybe teaching kids how to advocate for themselves at a young age is something we should do. But no, we can't empower children.
English and math scores hit new lows last spring.
I don't care about their
Get a load of this with less than 4% of students
learning nothing.
They're learning nothing. The results are worse.
Their test scores are down.
And not just worse, guys.
4 percentage points in each category.
I don't care.
What are we doing?
Not only is it worse, Anna, only 4% of them are proficient in math.
Standardized testing is absolutely ableist and classist and racist. So I don't care that their standardized test scores went down.
Percent don't know how to do math. And they're teaching them to get rid of money and landlords and disrupt white people. A bunch of lunatics. No, let's just get rid of the program entirely. It's nothing but a dumpster fire. And we're not in the camp of, okay, just math and English and don't teach them anything about literature or anything. No, teach them actual courses. And yes, later in junior high, high school, by all means, literature and look, I got taught philosophy in high school, in a public high school, and it made me a much better person for it. But that was actual.
Not if you're taught it by a racist.
Actual things that we were learning, not trash about disrupting people based on race and how we're gonna live in a dream world with unicorns but we don't need math or English. No, you definitely need math and English.
Finally, I want to give you an example of what has been proven to work. Let's go to the last graphic here. Education experts say struggling schools need research-based literacy and math interventions to ensure all students have the basic skills to succeed. What a crazy thought. Examples of success include San Francisco's John Muir Elementary, which has piloted a math intervention program that has led to a more than 50% proficiency rate, up from just 15% prior to adopting the coaching and student-led coursework. We're talking about an elementary school. Can we please get back to teaching them the basic skills they need to be functioning human beings? And if you want to have...
Again, like, okay, what do you need to learn in elementary school? Like, you know, like you need to learn your ABCs, you need to learn your numbers, you need to learn your math basics. Like, they're teaching them all that too. The fact that their test scores are down has nothing to do with the fact that they're implementing other programs as well.
Have debates about dismantling whiteness, whatever that means. Go ahead and do it in your college classes where you have full-grown adults who can, you know, get into the nuance.
The adults did have that debate and they decided to make that program. Sorry that they didn't consult your white ass.
Nuances of these issues. Doing this at an early age in elementary school, it is indoctrination. It's left-wing indoctrination. And what it does is it provides an example and fodder for what conservatives have been complaining about for a long time, left-wing indoctrination in our schools. In this case, it's true. And it is not effective.
It's true. Left-wing indoctrination in the schools, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
In teaching kids the basic skills they need to succeed in life.
Yeah, last two things for me. One is stop being the caricatures that the right wing created. This is the kind of stuff that Tucker Carlson would do conspiracy theories about when it didn't exist. And now it feels like they watch Tucker Carlson. They're like, oh, that's.
Don't be caricatures of what the right wing, you know, makes fun of, guys. We can't be those two woke extremists, because then the right will mock us more. Hurt.
That's a good idea. Let's pretend to be the jackasses that he said we were. No, don't do that. And number two, as a non-white person, I'm deeply offended at the idea of math being white. So a lot of times they phrase things as if like, oh, you don't need to learn that stuff. That traditional stuff is for white people. No, you morons.
Who said that?
You know who invented
Who the fuck said that?
math is the Arabs, okay, from the Middle East. It's algebra because it's al-jabra, okay? That's where it comes from.
Yeah, and maybe if, you know, people were taught history that wasn't white history, they would know that.
To say that, no, it's now a white thing is the most weirdly racist thing I've ever heard against non-white people. So just please, none of this garbage.
Oh, yeah, none of this garbage.
Topics. All the topics, correct history, balance, for God's sake.
Balance.
And an actual education.
We need balance.
Hey, thanks.
We need balance, chat.